Hello, Dr. Catherine and Ms. Manikam. Today, my group will be presenting our second assignment, which is about the factors influencing employee communication responsibility in organizations in Malaysia. First, I'm going to talk about the online survey results. This survey used Likert type scale ranging from 1, which represents strongly disagree, to 5, which represents strongly agree. From this survey, I'm going to talk about the results based on 3 sections. The 3 sections are top management employee communication as well and employee communication responsibility and demographics. Now, starting from the demographics, the respondents of this survey were mostly female with 57%, and most of the respondents have the age of 20 to 29 years old, followed by 50 to 59 years old. Next, most of the respondents have a bachelor's degree as their highest level of education. And lastly, most of the respondents have an experience of 1 to 5 years of working in the organization. Next slide. Next section will be the top management employee communication. There were 4 statements given in the survey, and these statements were related to how the employees feel positively towards those in their top management. As can be seen from the percentage table at the bottom, the response for strongly agree and somewhat agree have a higher percentage compared to the rest. And this shows that the employees already have quite a positive relationship with those in their top management. Next slide. Moving on to the last section of the survey results, there were 6 statements given which are related to how the employees perceive communication responsibility in their organization. Looking at the percentage table in the next slide, the results show that there was a higher percentage of respondents who answered strongly agree to somewhat agree. And hence, this means that employees in Malaysia already show a positive sign on taking responsibility in their communication within the organization they're in. And next, I'll pass it to Jandra, who will be talking about the background.
Hi everyone, my name is Diandra. So today I would like to talk about the background of classical approach. So basically this theory is often used as the basis of management approach by most of companies nowadays. This theory will enhance the management abilities to predict and control the behavior of workers, and also it's considered the task function of communication in the organization, and it ignores the human relational and maintenance function of communication. So we continue to the next point. What are the main ideas of classical approach? The main ideas of classical management approach is to cut costs, increase productivity and efficiency. It's mainly concerned with increasing the efficiency of workers and organization based on management practice. And efficiency could also help the company to gain a competitive edge over its competitors. So we continue to the next slide. Since this will mainly focus on classical approach in fast food industry, the classical approach that is practiced in fast food industry is scheduling. So basically, scheduling is to ensure that when it comes to rush hour, an appropriate number of people with better skills are scheduled to work at that hour. And if there are only a few people, they are scheduling to work at the slower or longer hours. So another approach is to control the behavior of the workers. To complete specific tasks means that the employees are programmed like machines to complete specific tasks. This approach could help the company to achieve efficiency, and it cuts necessary costs and maximizes output. So lastly, the management approach in fast food restaurant involves the standardization of operation of the organization so that employees only work according to the system and rules set by the company. So one of the best example of an organization that used a classical approach that has worked and is still going well is McDonald's. Their main focus that is fast service. They will ensure that they meet the standards, and by always monitoring operation and analyzing how they can be more productive, efficient, make and sell as many of their products as possible every day. So I will pass it to Valen.
Hello everyone, my name is Valencia. So today I'll be talking about communication process. But before we proceed, it was mentioned before regarding classical management approach, and because our organization was within the fast food industry, so our organization adopt the classical management approach. So it was effective for our fast food industry because it will help to boost the efficiency within the organization, and it will create a standard for the employees. And to successfully achieve the organization goals, communication is really essential as it helps to eliminate the confusion of the member of the organization itself. Okay, so the first point is, what is communication process? So communication process itself is the steps that we take to in order to successfully communicate. In the case of classical management approach that our organization has practiced, there are several elements that shape the communication process of the organization. And there are four content. There are four elements of the communication process, which is communication content, communication direction, communication channel, and communication style. So the communication content usually talk about the work-related stuff, while the communication content was from top to down or vertical, and the communication channel will be usually be a written, and the communication style will be formal. And next, we will talk about communication process within the fast food industry. So within the fast food industry, decisions was made by the authorities or the top management. Then the message was passed down through the manager to the supervisor, and then the supervisor will pass it to the employees under them. So the messages was given in a form of written text, such as memo or email, and the message is written in a formal style. And that is how the usual communication process works. However, with the appearance of COVID-19 pandemic, some elements of the communication process are bound to be changed, which we will go to the next point. So the next point is, how does COVID-19 affect communication process? So due to the pandemic, the organization must adapt to the situation, especially the top management, as they need to implement new ways to further encourage the employees to maintain effective internal communication, in which the content communication will need to be improved. Before the pandemic, the communication content might only be regarding the regulations and updates of the company. But during the pandemic, the top management could include additional regulations to ensure the employee safety, and the top management could give them new incentive in order to further motivate the employees. And the specific example for this communication process will be McDonald's. So as we know that McDonald's is a giant within the fast food industry until today, with over tens of thousands of workers under it. Therefore, communication process must be effective in order to reach all of the employees, such as McDonald's in the UK. The top management released a bi-monthly magazine for the employees to inform them of the situation and updates of the company. The idea was implemented due to the most of the worker is within the age of 16 to 24 years old. Therefore, this message can be an exciting way of communication for the employees. But aside from the magazine, McDonald's does engage with its employees via online communication channel in order to help them develop. And that's all for my part, and I will pass it to Alifa.
Hi, my name is Alifa. I'm going to talk about the suggestion. Before proceeding with the suggestion, I would like to add a little more about the communication process. Usually, in fast food restaurant, they employ a large number of staff and have a multitude a multitude of chains, which meaning that the system is regulated by the top management, and employees must follow the system and are most likely not able to give suggestions or feedback to their top management. So by one-way communication, it is more common because it maintains efficiency and stability. However, there are also several weaknesses in the communication process in a classical approach. Sometimes the top management fail to identify the problems at work, such as lack of hygiene, discrimination, and others. These human or behavioral factors are often ignored by the classical approaches because they mainly focus on getting the job done. To improve the communication at work, fast food could use a method that maintain efficiency but also raise awareness towards human or behavioral concerns voiced by the employees. For instance, the top management could set up forum with a special team to handle it and act as the mediator between the employees and the top management. Since employees might not be able to directly provide feedback to the top management because some people might feel uncomfortable being vocal. Forums are easy to use and can create a sense of belonging among employees because they are allowed to share their opinions and discuss personal issues they face at work. Moreover, by using forum, it can increase the trust between the employees and the organization as they can identify and solve the problems. So to conclude, there are two objectives that fast food restaurants might want to focus on. The first one is to maintain efficiency, which is by setting up a suitable standardized operational system, and another is to identify non-operational related issues faced by the employees. Emails and organizational magazines are used to achieve the employees is concise, common, and practical. Forums, on the other hand, could be used to achieve the latter as the information passed to the top could vary and are more complicated. Thank you. So that is it for our presentation. Thank you for your time and attention.